Matt's going to help me cook supper tonight. It's going to be like a joint effort, team effort.
Go team.
Part of this part we're going to do right now, we should have done early this morning, but it's typical for us. We didn't get it done. So Matt's going to make us some homemade ice cream because I'm going to make a cherry crisp. That's going to be good, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be really good. We're going to have some meat. Matt's going to grill some meat on the grill. It's going to be an easy supper. And I think we're going to have, for the first time, I'm hoping there's enough out there, we're going to have green beans. Now, the green beans are not large enough, full enough yet to eat like we like them when we break them up and string them and cook them with some side meat or ham or something. So we're just going to roast them in the oven. And then I think we're also going to have potatoes. We're going to grabble out some potatoes. We're going to roast them. And I think Matt tells me there's a cucumber out there.
It was getting close yesterday.
It's about
or
that
day
big.
before. So.
That big. Maybe my hands are stained from the cherries. I've been working on the cherries. But yeah, so maybe we'll have a cucumber to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have no tomatoes yet, but we've got some green onions. I could pull some green onions, and sounds like that'd be really great.
Mm-hmm.
So we bought this ice cream maker, I guess last year, and then I ended up I think at one time I made peach ice cream in it, and then after that Matt's made all the ice cream, so I don't even really know exactly how it works or what he's going to do, but he's just making the simple recipe that actually come in the book.
And it's just plain old simple vanilla, but it's good.
Yeah, it's good, especially with some dessert like that, with that dessert. I have great memories of homemade ice cream, not the kind that you crank, but it was the kind that used rock salt. Did you ever do that? Did you
I've eaten it, but I don't think we ever made it.
A lot of the different couples at church, older people, like, they were probably our age looking back, but at the time they seemed older to me, of course, because I was a little kid, but like Granny and Pap, seemed like each house had one, and sometimes everybody would go home with each other after church on Sunday night or after church for Sunday dinner, and then they would make ice cream, and it was so good. I remember us kids would run by, is it ready yet? Is it ready yet? And try to get a little piece of rock salt so we could taste it. But good memories. And it seems like when we was first married, we had an ice cream maker, but it wasn't that kind. It was some kind you turned with a handle or something.
Yeah.
And maybe we used it, I think Miss Cindy got it for us once or twice, and then we never used it.
I don't know what happened to it.
No, it's long since gone. And then for some reason last year I just decided I wanted one. So we got one and we've been enjoying it. So how do we make this? How Matt's going to do the ice cream?
First we got to mix the sugar and the milk and mix that together. And then
So what is it?
add everything else as it's whipping, as best I can remember.
It's 1 1/2 cup milk, whole milk, 1 1/8 cups sugar, 3 cups heavy cream, and 1 1/2 tablespoons vanilla extract, and that's it. And we've got, this is my friend Ginger gave me this bottle, but then what's in it, actually Corey made it, so I used all of Ginger's, then I refilled it with some that Corey had made, so that's nice. Okay, I'll let you go to it. So Matt's got the milk and the sugar. He's going to let it mix for a few minutes, add the rest. So ice cream makers, of course, are different, but ours comes with this insert, that part right there, that round kind of canister. You keep it in the freezer, so it's already super, super cold. And then Matt's going to turn it on and pour the mixture in. So now it'll just do its thing. It takes about 25 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes. That's why we should have done it this morning. Then it's really pretty soft, and then we could have put it in the freezer and let it get hard. I don't guess it ever gets as hard as like ice cream you buy at the store. It's more like a soft serve, but it's really, really tasty. Finding any?
Here's one.
Looks like a pretty good potato.
A whole bunch of little ones.
Well, little ones eat good too.
I thought we was baking them.
Well, we are, but we can bake little ones.
Okay.
So we definitely have cucumbers. Look at that one. This is the Sumpter variety. We've never grew them before, but it looks like a great cucumber. There's another one. Wow. Way down in here is another one, even bigger than those. Gosh, I didn't even know these were out here. Doesn't that look great? I planted this one. I wanted to try it because it said it was so prolific, so maybe this is a good sign that it is. Looking over here with the silver slicers, but the only one I see is not really big enough, but I'm going to get it anyway. We really like them, and they're really prolific and usually do really good for us if we can beat off the squash bugs. Over here with the Sumpters, where they were at, I've still got some really big of the big radishes where I was leaving them, letting them grow because of the squash bugs, which now I've decided they do nothing for squash bugs, at least at my house. They might at your house. So I think I'm going to pull up some of them, and I could roast them with the green beans, now that we know we like roasted radishes. I'm glad I pulled up the radishes because I found another cucumber down there. Getting them out of the way too will allow the cucumbers to have a lot more air. And I found one squash bug down in there, so I need to get my spray out and spray again this evening after the sun starts to go down. Well, I sat down out here in the shade and worked up the radishes. I didn't end up with as many as I thought. That is still quite a lot, but it's because so many of the big ones were so hard. They just got so pithy I couldn't even cut them. But what I'll do with the ones that were too pithy and then the greens is I'm going to feed them to the chickens. You can eat the radish greens. We recently did that in the video if you didn't know that. They cook up really nicely and really tender, but I'm not going to cook them tonight. And some of these have got so big and so tattered with the bugs eating on them, I'm not sure they'd be that great anyway. I probably could get enough out of it though to cook, but I'm gonna let my chickens enjoy these. So these are some of the largest beans. A lot of them are a lot smaller than these. These are I don't know why this end of the garden's got the biggest beans. Those will be perfect though for roasting. And then I'm gonna go down through there and pick some of the smaller ones too, just so we'll have enough. As I'm going down through here, picking some of them, some of the leaves have got some real damage on them. So I'm gonna spray, oh, and look, right there are some of the eggs. I don't think this is the squash bug though. These are the bean bugs, and they usually do get in our beans, usually not this early though. But this evening when I come back out and spray the pepper spray, I'm gonna hit these too, and I'm gonna be looking for those little eggs. Oh, there it is. There's a good, so that's the bean bugs that we fight. I looked up the name of them one time. It's like a Mexican something. But I'm going to definitely spray the beans when I come out later this evening to do my spray for the squash bugs. And I ended up with quite a few green beans. Now these are all, the only ones I picked, these are all the rattlesnake beans. You can see they're still really, really small. The bean inside, you can't even really feel it, but they're really tender when they're this stage of their growth. Of course, we love them with the big bean in them, is our favorite. But this will be plenty for us to roast for our first green beans of the summer. Well, we had a little interruption before supper. We had unexpected company. So I've already eaten. I didn't get to make my dessert. We did already have everything almost ready. I didn't get to show it to you, but it was really good. I don't know what was the best. Matt's meat that he grilled was really good. Just beef, just a steak. But the potatoes, the new potatoes, I don't know why new potatoes are so much better, but they just are. They were really good. The beans were so tender and fresh. They were delicious. The green onions, which we've already been eating them, but they were good. And the radishes that I roasted, they were good too. So a really, really good meal. The only thing Matt and I forgot was early this morning when we should have made the ice cream, we also should have put in a loaf of bread, and we didn't. So we didn't have any bread, but it was still really, really good. Now I'm going to go ahead and make my dessert, even though we'll have to eat it as a snack, not really as a dessert for the meal. So it's in mine and Jim's cookbook, Celebrating Southern Appalachian Food, and it's on page 217, but it's just a fruit crisp. I guess the first kind of crisp I ever had, really simple dessert, was an apple crisp. And I'm not sure, I can't remember if I had it like at a church function. I don't really remember Granny making them very often. She made an apple one a few times, but I don't really remember her making it. It might have even been, seems like it was somewhere like more of a, like a cafeteria setting. So maybe it was at Lake Logan, I don't know. Anyway, this is the cherry crisp. And any kind of crisp is so easy. You just need the fruit, and this recipe I'm going to share, you can use any fruit, it doesn't have to be cherries. And it's really simple to throw together and good just with a glass of milk, but also really good with, you know, with ice cream on top. So I need 3 to 4 cups of pitted cherries, so I've got those right here. 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup oatmeal, 1 teaspoon baking powder, 1 teaspoon vanilla, 1 egg, and 1/2 cup of melted butter. I have my butter over on the stove. So I'm going to place the cherries in a greased 9x13 pan. I'm going to mix sugar, flour. Well, let's just do it together. Let's just do it together. Let's see, I got me a, I don't want to lose my place. There's my oven coming to heat. I'll go ahead and put out my cherries. You know, I never cared much about cherries. I mean, they were okay, but most of the cherries I had when I was growing up was off of like cherry trees, and they were always tart. You know, they were tart cherry, and I just didn't care for them. Miss Cindy introduced me to cherries, and I don't even know the difference in them, to tell you the truth, but sweet cherries, I guess. And ever since then, I've really enjoyed them. Okay, we've got our cherries in. Let's see what we need to do next. We're going to mix our sugar. Whoops, sorry. Mix our sugar, our flour. About to leave some of it in it. So our oatmeal. A little thing of baking powder. I'm trying to do it one-handed. Okay, let's mix that up a little bit. Maybe my book will stay open. This is an interesting crisp or an interesting recipe, because most of the time you have to cut the butter up into the mixture like till it's crumbly, but since you melt the butter, you don't do that. It's easier, I think. And we're going to add our, and I about spilled it, our vanilla and our egg. Okay, I think that's good. I've been doing it for a few minutes. It takes a while to get the egg all. You're not really trying to get it. It's not going to turn into like a batter or anything. It's just I'm going to have to pick it up with my hands anyway, so I'll just show you. But it's more like just coarse crumbles, with some pieces bigger than others. So now I'm just going to start laying it on top of my cherries here. I don't know why, but I like to go around the edges of the pan. I don't even know if you can see me. Let's move this over a minute. Move my book. Move that. Let's swap places. Now, that's better. So I like to go around the edges of the pan first, and then worry about the middle. I love the corners. There's some people that like corners in desserts like this, and some people like the middle. I'm a corner person. Now I'll worry about the middle. Okay, now I'm ready for the butter, and we're just going to drizzle it on top. Kind of go one way, go horizontal, and then go, or lengthwise, and then go horizontal. So we're going to put it in the oven and bake it for, what did I say, 40 minutes, about 400 degrees. It'll get kind of golden brown on top and bubbly. While this is baking, I'll try to get all that off my spatula too. While this is baking, well, I'm going to clean up my mess, and then I'm going to go outside and do my pepper spray on my squash. By that time, it will have time to cook, and then I'm going to get that ice cream out, and hopefully I can get Matt and maybe even Katie to come taste it with me. Katie, come to get her some.
Oh, but Katie can only eat a little bit. Katie's super, that's too much. Katie's super full from supper.
Looks good.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I can only eat a little bit at a time. I'm very full from the suppers, but it does look really good. So where'd you get this recipe?
Oh, I've had it a long time. Katie's not eating ice cream, but Katie may have to take hers, and Katie's being called.
Oh, it's good though.
Is it good?
Oh, it's hot. Bingo. Thank you, it's good.
You're welcome. Whoops, I'm throwing ice cream out on the counter, out on the island. Get Matt some. Get me a little bit to taste. I might have let mine cook just a tad, maybe like 5 minutes too long, but I was outside and the beeper was going off, and I was like, I'm almost done spraying, So I just want to wait till I get it done. So you can just keep a check on, come on Dad, keep a check on it in your oven if you try it. Looks really good, especially with the ice cream Matt made.
It's gonna be hot.
It's gonna be hot, yeah. Trying to get a cherry, but the cherries will be the hottest part.
Oh yeah. Mighty good.
I think crisp like this, or cobbler, I think it goes so good with ice cream somehow because of the breaded part. And especially this, any kind of crisp has the crunch to it. So you got the crunch, the soft fruit, and then the creamy ice cream. And you could use, same recipe, but use apple. I think peach crisp is really good. Blueberry, just about anything. Strawberry even. What would also be really good with it is a tall glass of milk.
I don't think it's a good one.
I might take a small glass of milk. Matt's asking me if I wanted some milk. Really good, and so easy to just whip up. I found that it really warms up nicely too.
Turn this off.
Yeah, I've left the oven on. Thank you, Matt. It really re-warms nicely, like if you're going to have leftovers the next day. I think cobbler warms up nicely too, although I love cold cobbler, like if it's cold with peaches in it. That's my favorite. Thank you. So Matt and I are glad that you come along with us to cook our supper, even though it kind of got interrupted with our unexpected company. But if you try the crisp, we really hope that you like it. Again, it's in mine and Jim's cookbook. If you've not picked up your copy, I'll leave that information in the description below. And we're always happy when you drop by to help us celebrate Appalachia. Even though we had a little hiccup in our supper, it still was so rewarding eat that was our first real kind of meal. I don't know though, we've already had kilt lettuce a lot and radishes and onion, but that was the first cucumbers and the first beans. We've had potatoes. That one day I made you dinner, we went out and grabbled 1 or 2 potatoes, but this is the best eating of the year though. I can't wait till we've got enough green beans to actually cook them long and slow like we like, with some side meat in them, cook them all day.
Just now starting.
Yeah, have some squash to fry to go with it. And of course Matt's still waiting on his Cherokee purples.
I'm waiting on the corn too.
Yeah. We're always glad when you stop by to help us celebrate Appalachia.